Hello everybody and welcome to another video tutorial. Today we'll be addressing an issue which is quite common among budget-friendly printers and isn't discussed all that much. The CR10V3, like many other 3D printers in the market today, have tin wire connections at their terminals, so today we'll be replacing those with ferrules. As always, what you see here represents my own opinions and undertake this at your own risk. I'm in no way responsible if any damages may occur. Now there's a couple of reasons why you might want to change the main power connections to ferrule ones. However, the main one is for safety. Not having ferrules means the maintenance will generally be more difficult since you'll have to deal with the wires unraveling when being placed inside the terminals. Tin ones, on the other hand, can make the strands more susceptible to vibration, loosening, and corrosion, all of which are to be avoided when it comes to the main power connections. So for this reason, we'll be taking a closer look at how to replace those connections on the CR10V3 by Creality. Since the CR10V3 has a separate case for the electronics, I will be removing this portion from the rest of the machine to make things a little bit easier to manage. In order to get access to the terminals, we first need to open the box, and to do this we'll remove the screws on the bottom of the case, as well as those holding the power supply in place. There shouldn't be any need to disconnect the power supply from the motherboard, but you will need to put it to the side as you work on the components. According to the wire diagram, you can see that we have a couple terminals which we'll need to double check for tin wires. I've turned the diagram around so that it matches the orientation of the video footage. What does seem to be typical in most 3D printers is that both the hot end and main power tends to have tin wires. I have come across some that also have the sensors tinned as well, although it is more rare. To make things easier to keep track of, we'll only remove one wire at a time by unscrewing the screw at the top of the terminal. With wire cutters, you'll remove the part that's tinned before beginning to prep the wire for the ferrules. In order to have proper contact with the ferrule, we'll need to strip the tip of the wire by using one of two methods. If you have wire strippers, you can use those to strip the wire connection. If you don't, you can use your wire cutters to do the same thing by gently adding pressure until you have cut through the outer protective layer. You'll then be able to remove the coating by holding the cutters partially open while pulling the part away. When choosing a ferrule, you'll want to choose one that barely fits on the wire to help ensure a proper connection when crimped. By making sure to twist the wires first, you'll have an easier time inserting them into ferrules. If you have a ferrule crimping tool, you can use that to crimp the connection. If not, you can use a pair of pliers to do the same thing. Always test the connection before putting it back into the terminal. In the end, I found that I had to replace both the hot end connection and the main powers with ferrules. This means that we ended up replacing a connection for two terminals. By only disconnecting one connection at a time, you'll be able to keep track of what connection needs to be changed next. This is the method I generally recommend so you don't end up mixing your connections. When you reattach the connections, make sure to double check that it's properly secured before moving on to the next one. Once you've finished upgrading the terminal connections, you can then put them back into the machine and do a quick test print to make sure everything's working correctly. I hope this video has helped some of you out, and if there's a video that you'd like to suggest, please leave a comment down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today, and I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you and take care. Also, for those of you who actually want to use this video as a guide, keep in mind that I will be posting a transcript on my main website to make it easier to follow along. Alternatively, please feel free to slow down the video by hitting the gear icon on the bottom right hand corner of your screen to change the speed settings. If you want to support this channel, please feel free to check out some of the merch on my website. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you and take care.